What's going on, world? I go by the name of CA Revolution, CA Revolution, CA Revolution, and this is React. And this is React. And this is React.
Let's go. Toe tag, body bag. You really don't see me like a hologram. I froze my account from my Instagram.
Before we get started, I want to give a special shout out to Rebecca Skinner. We were doing a segment on a podcast we do called The Marriage Plug, and she was talking about something and she made a mistake. She kind of fumbled over her words.
Transformation that takes place in your marriage.
And Rebecca, you said, you accidentally said pace when you meant to say place. But pace and place is everything in a race. And when I heard those two words next to each other, boom, I thought to myself, oh my goodness, that speaks to me directly. And so I want to share this with you to encourage you. Pace is about how fast or slow you're moving. And it's important for you to move at the right miles per hour in purpose. It's important for you to operate balanced and in control. Place is about the destination or location you want to be in, whether it's a mental place or a physical place. It's about you arriving at a destination. A lot of times in our life, we're either out of place or out of pace. That can be the difference between winning, losing, an opportunity of a lifetime. I can think of times when I was moving so fast, my pace was so fast that even though it seemed like I should be further along, I absolutely was moving behind because I was doing things fast but inefficiently. Because I was moving at a fast pace, I was misplacing things. And that messed me up with a lot of different opportunities. Furthermore, a lot of us are in this place in life where we feel like we should be further than where we are. We feel like somehow we dropped the ball or we messed up and now our pace has been thrown off. That is not the case. A lot of us are young and still maturing, still developing, still becoming successful. But we look at how fast someone else got to their place. You hear that? Pace. How fast pace someone else got to their place. And we're wondering why we're not there. Listen, I want to encourage you and I want to tell you, you're not where you want to be, but you're where you're supposed to be. And you may not like that, and that's okay. But you have to understand, you're not where you're not. And it is what it is. You can't go backwards because you've never been where you're going. Neither should you stand still because you're not where you want to be. Don't get lost in this. Stay in place, okay? Just because you're not where you want to be doesn't mean you're not where you are. And just because you want to be somewhere else doesn't mean you shouldn't appreciate where you currently are. You should appreciate this moment. You should take this moment and say, you know what? I want to be somewhere else within this amount of time. And you should understand that that's possible if you produce certain actions. Just because you don't have what you want doesn't mean you're not going to have what you've never had. Just because you are where you are doesn't mean you're not going to be where you want to go. A lot of times you are where you are because you have to learn how to get to where you're trying to be. It's like when I was driving around in my city. If it wasn't for the bus route, a lot of places that I wanted to go to, I wouldn't have been able to make it. I was taking the longer route because I was taking the bus route when I was driving to get to my location, but I still always made it to my location, even if I took the longer route. When I eventually began to get experience as a driver in the city and not a passenger, that's when I was able to skip steps and I was able to control the pace that I wanted to go. Because on a bus, it's a lot of stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. There's nothing wrong with that because you have to understand you're not the driver. You're a passenger with other passengers and everyone's trying to get to where they need to be. How do we apply this to life? You apply this to life because when you stop being a passenger with your purpose and you stop being a passenger with your desires and your passions and the things that you want to do, and you switch over to the driver's seat, one, you don't have to take the long route every time because you'll understand that you control your destiny. Yes, there's a spiritual factor involved, but God helps those who help themselves. So here it is, you're capable of jumping from the passenger seat to the driver's seat. And you're standing still because you're afraid to take the wheel. You're afraid to hit the gas. You're afraid to hit the brakes on your own life. Sometimes you're stuck in neutral when you need to be in drive. And sometimes you're stuck in reverse Or even worse, sometimes we're stuck in park. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go to what you've already done and be familiar with what you've already been familiar with? Do you want to remain neutral and just hope that one day this vehicle will just coast down the hill and you don't have to put forth any effort? It'll just cruise at its own pace. Or do you want to show your drive, that you're in control, that you know how to operate and maneuver your own vehicle, your mental vehicle, your spiritual vehicle, your intellectual vehicle? What do you want to produce? Because that's going to be the difference between reverse, living in your past, staying neutral, being where you are, and just kind of existing in life, and being in drive, and being the driving force for your passions, purposes, destinations, and responsibilities. These things are possible. You are the one that can do it. All right, guys, react. Thank you. Bye.
Come on, elevate, go a little higher, still got levels to go.